श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। क्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभः निर्विघ्नं गुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजपुरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्ते नमः। वेदव्यासं स्वात्मारूपं सत्यसन्धं परायणं शान्तं जितेन्द्रियक्रोधं सदिशं प्रणमाम्यहम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। मूकं करोति वाचारं भङ्गं लङ्घयति गिरिमित्कृतापमं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। नारायणपरो व्यक्तादण्डमव्यक्तसम्भवमण्डस्यान्तस्तु मे लोकाः सप्तद्वीपा च मेदिनी। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेस्यं व्यासेन कृतं पुराणमुनिनां मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीमष्टादशाध्यायीं वात्त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवेद्वेषिणीं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अवतीर्णश्च कालट्यां केदारेन्दरितश्च चितस्पीठप्रतिष्ठादाय यदाच्यङ्करो गुरुः। We were looking at the 34th shloka of this Karma-Sanyasa Yoga. Here, before this, Bhagavan explains the different type of yajnas a Karma-Sanyasi would perform, and then he says that among all those dravya, the material involved yajnas, the Jnana-Yajna is the best one. That's what he says. And then how to attain that Jnana, he explains in this shloka, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So, by approaching that guru with making humble inquiries, by rendering service to that guru, then that jnani, that enlightened person, that tattvadarshi, that one who knows that knowledge, who has realized that knowledge, that person will impart, will tell you about this knowledge, this Atma Jnana. And that's what we looked at previously. And that's where Acharya, Bhagavad Shankaracharya explains as part of this Tattvadarshina, he explains that here the qualification Tattvadarshina is the one who has realized that truth, that Paramartha Tattva, who has realized that. And Bhagavan's view here is that ye samyak darshinaha taihi upadishtam jnanam karyakshemam bhavati netarat iti bhagavato matam. So Bhagavan's view here is that jnana, knowledge imparted by those who have full enlightenment, becomes effective, not by any other. So that's the Bhagavan's view here. That's what Acharya Shankaracharya says in his Bhashya. Now, similar thing is also said by Srimad Saraswati, he also says that knowledge alone, which is imparted by those who have direct realization, who have realized that, becomes effective, and not by those who are not, and it is not by dependent on those who are skilled in words or sentences or valid means of giving the result. So that it is not by others who maybe just explain this very well, but they may not be able to give that knowledge. They may be skilled in the words, but they may not, probably not. So this is only those who have direct realization. They have can, with their words and sentences and valid means, they can give that upadesha, and they can give that, make that experience. This, and there is also Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, which says that when a Brahmana, having examined this world produced by karma, which is, and want to be free from the desires, he thinks that there is nothing eternal produced from the karma. And when he thinks like that, then he is tadvijnanartam sa gurumeva abhigachet samitpane shrotriyam brahmanishtam. So at that time, that Brahmana who thinks that this world is result of the karma and there is nothing good comes out of karma and things like that, when he sees, at that time, he, for knowing that reality, So that tadvijnanartam sa gurumeva vigacche. So he should, with samit pani, he should holding the samit, the sacrificial offering, this the wooden sacrificial sticks, one word, who offers in the yajnas, holding that. So this again dried wood, right? So that means it is, I'm ready to burn off everything, and it means that we are ready to acquire that knowledge and completely reduce into this avidya, completely reduce that into uh, ashes. So with that view, he should hold that samit, and then only to a teacher, he should go to only to a teacher, approach that teacher who is versed in the Vedas, Shrotriyam. He should be very much versed in the Vedas and Brahmanishtam. So Gundaka says again, just like here in this Bhagavad Gita shloka, where it says that again adds the qualification as Tattvadarshinaha, not just Jnaninaha, not only Jnana, those who have wisdom, knowledge, but Tattvadarshina. Just like that, that Mundaka Upanishad also says that Savitpani Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So Shrotriyam is one who is versed in the Vedas, Vedangas, Upanishads and everything, who knows about all those things. But Brahmanishtam is the one who have realized it. Okay, the experiencing is different, knowing the subject is one thing different. So, and Acharya Shankaracharya in his Bhashya of that Mundaka Upanishad, he explains that Shrotriya means who has studied the Vedas, and Brahmanishtam is the one who has directly realized that Brahman. So that's why there is that difference, and similar things here as well. Acharya explains in his Bhashya that those who have experienced, who have realized that truth, can only impart that full enlightenment. So with that, last time I think I asked this question. So in that case, is it worth listening to all these Bhagavad Gita classes or Vedanta classes and all those kind of things when most of the teachers, including myself and many others, we are not that Brahmanistas, right? So we are not that Tattvadarshina, I have said in this shlokas. So when those teachers who are not realized it themselves, here clearly Bhagavan says, Acharya in his Bhashya also explains, and Upanishad Bhashya also he explains that this is can only be realized through the teacher who has realized themselves. So in that case, is there a use of this listening to these Vedanta classes, Gita classes, and various other things related to that? The answer is yes, even though the classes, attending these things cannot make you realize that, but it can take you in that direction. So it is like, say, for example, on top of that mountain, there is a mountain, and on top of that, there is a mango tree, and the fruits of that are very juicy and tasty, and there is no other fruit like that in this entire world. Okay, if we keep saying that, everybody keeps saying that, okay, that fruit is the best one, and these are the different paths you can take to that tree, and that's how you get the fruit, and this is how you need to eat, and all those kind of things. We can explain that qualities of the fruit and the path to reach, attain that fruit, so that we can taste it. We can explain all that, but the final moment of experiencing it has to come from the one who has already experienced. Only that person can say, can you taste this now? Okay, so I put a salt in this. I know how salt tastes. I can tell another person salt means salt tastes like salt. Okay, like this. Or I can say that orange tastes like this because I have tasted orange. Okay. Here also, the person who has tasted that mango in that tree can only explain to the other person how it tastes when you eat it, right? So, but everybody else can say that that person describes that mango like this, and it has been told by our rishis like that mango tastes like that. All those things will hear. So that means it invokes that desire in ours. It creates that ambition, that desire in us, saying that we also need to go to that and taste that mango. Similarly, here as well, hearing that there is this realization, and from that there is this removal from this samsara, okay, this moksha, one attains through that. So if that is the ultimate goal, and if we hear that from many sources and many people, then ultimately we will start following that path and start realizing, okay, again, reaching that mango tree. In my case, there may be multiple different paths one could go. Okay, so everybody who says I'm religious may not be following the right path, because they may be on the way, they might be enjoying some other fruits, okay, which is part of the samsara. They may stay near some other mango tree on the way, okay. They may not reach the final mango tree which they need to reach, or they may be eating some other fruit half the way, okay, because that's the samsara. It gives a lot of other things all along the way. If you are still focused on the only one thing, that is the ultimate tree you want to reach and the fruit you want to taste, then that's the path one these karma sannyasis who are taking here. But others, many samsaris, they all get wandering in that forest, eating all the other types of fruit, but they know that there is a mango tree. Okay, ultimately they want to get, but they are focused on currently eating what's available. Right. So that's all us, most of us samsaris who are like that. So similarly here, but continuously hearing about those things and the characteristics, qualities, and the benefits, and all those kind of things regularly through these Vedanta, Shravanas, or Gita, and other things, it helps. And then ultimately, one when reaches that stage, obviously, such a person always gets a guru who has realized it, who always, because Shastras also clearly explain that one who uh, is due for such a knowledge, he will get a guru who explains and who makes that realization possible. So we don't need to worry who that guru is going to be. Once we reach that near that mango tree, we will meet that person who actually explains how to eat that mango and how to experience that mango. So that's why it is important that continue in that path. So that's why we need to look. And related to this shloka, again, we see in Shankaracharya's Viveka Chudamani, again, similar message is said, I think, in the shloka starting from 24th onwards, where a student, a disciple, a mumukshu who want moksha, who is aspiring to attain moksha, such a person approaching the guru. And there Acharya in his Viveka Chudamani says that Shrotriyo Vrijino Akamahato Yo Brahmavittamah Brahmanyupatarha Shanto Nirindana Ivanalaha Ahetuka Daya Sindur Bandur Ranamatam Satam. So he says that who is versed in the Vedas, sinless, unsmitten by the desire, and knower of the Brahman par excellence, who has drawn himself into Brahman. So again, Brahma Vittama. So similar to here, we are in Tattva Darshina in this shloka, right? So Brahmanishta in Mundaka Upanishad. So just like that, Acharya uses the same. So whether Viveka Chudamani, whether we take Shankaracharya Bhashya on the Upanishad or Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna says, all those things, same message repeated. Okay, same message repeated everywhere. So here again, so what type of guru one should select? Who is versed in the Vedas, who is sinless, who does not have any desires, who is knower of that Brahman, who has withdrawn himself into Brahman, who is calm like a fire that has consumed its fuel, and who is bondless, who has Daya Sindhu, so his boundless reservoir of the mercy that knows no reason and no bounds, and a friend of good people, and who prostrate themselves before him. So he should go to that, and reaching that guru, Tamaradya Gurum Bhaktya Prashraya Sevanaihi Prasannam Tamano Prapya Priche Jnata Vematmanaha. So going to that guru, such a guru, the mumukshu, the one who desires moksha, worshipping that guru with devotion, approaching him when he is pleased with namaskara, prostration, humility, service, he should ask him what he got to know. So exactly what's said in this shloka, right? Where he says that tadviddi pranipatena prashneya sevaya. So going to that guru, prostration, inquiry, making inquiring, doing service. Same thing said in the Viveka Chudamani Acharya explains Tamaradya Gurum Bhaktya Prafa Prashraya Sevanai. So again, reaching that guru, one should worship, and then with devotion he should prostrate, and with humility and service he should ask him those questions. Again, what type of questions he should ask? As we looked at in this shloka, he should ask katam bandha, katam moksha, ka vidya, ka cha vidya, ka cha vidya. So like pariprashnena, for that Acharya explains in this shloka, right? So we looked at previously. So how this bondage comes, how moksha comes, what is the knowledge, what is vidya, what is avidya. So all this type of question one should ask. So one should ask those, how I can get freed from this avidya, who am I, how I am under this bondage. All those kind of questions one should ask with humility and by serving that guru. So then he should say that Swamin Namaste Nataloka Bandho Karunya Sindho Patitam Bhavadho मामुद्ध रात्मीय कटाक्ष दृष्टा रुज्वाति कारुण्य सुधाभिवृष्टा. So, O Master, O Guru, O he should say that, O friend of those who bow to you, O ocean of mercy, I bow to you. Swamin Namaste, save me, fallen I am into this sea of birth and death, this in the samsara, with a straightforward glance of your voice, which sheds the nectar like grace supreme, kataksha drishtya, rijvati karunya sudhabhivrishya. So, with that, your glance alone, you can save me from this samsara. So, like this, he should pray to that guru. He should ask that guru. Durvara samsari davagni taptam dodhuyamanam duradrishtavatehi bhitam prasannam parivad mrityo sharanyamanyam yadaham najane. Save me from death, afflicted as I am by the unquenchable fire of this world forest, this worldly samsara, shaken violently by the winds. Like this, he explains that how he is suffering from this samsara, and he says that I do not know any other man than with whom to seek this shelter, so that's why I have come to you. So like this, that mumukshu goes to guru and asks for that Brahma Vidya. So exactly same thing we saw in this Bhagavad Gita earlier as well in the second chapter, right? Arjuna, with all this shoka moha, he drops his bow and he looks at Krishna, and Krishna says, why this kalmasham, right? Why this kalmasha has come to you? Why this why you are talking like this? When Krishna asks like that, Arjuna says, I don't know what to do because I see Bhishma, Drona, all these relatives there. At that time he says, Yache yasanishchitam buruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanna. So he says that, sanishchitam bruhi. So tell me what is exactly, perfectly, accurately true. What is the truth? Tell me that. Shishyasteham. He says again, I am your disciple. Tell me that. Shadimam prapannam. So save me from all this. So he like this, Arjuna also surrenders himself to Krishna, saying that you are my guru. Right? That bhava, that emotion, that kind of shraddha, devotion one should have in the guru, one who seeks this moksha. So when it goes, again, this is in Bhagavad Gita, we discussed many times, and this shloka again, we looked at in the second shloka, second adhyaya, 7th shloka, I think, where Arjuna asked the kind of, and then here again, Bhagavan says that one should reach that tadviddi pranipatena pariprashneya sevaya. So like this, again, he repeats that one should go to that guru and serve that guru. And then in Upanishads also we'll see the same thing. And then in Viveka Chudamani, Acharya beautifully explains this again, that approaching the process of selecting the guru and going to that guru, and then how one should surrender oneself to that guru and serve him and ask those questions. So like this, we see it repeatedly said same thing. And again, even though it is repeatedly said, the reason for its repetition is because even when hearing from multiple sources, at least one of them stick to our mind. That's why it is. And so now coming to here again, this shloka here in this, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashneya sevaya upadekshyanti te jnatam jnaninas tattvadarshina. So here, Srimad Saraswati explains one more thing here in this Bhashya, where upadekshyanti te jnanam jnanina sattvadarshina. So jnanina tattvadarshina. So in that here, jnanina is used as a wise ones. So that means a plural sense is used here. And why then? So does it mean, again, these bhashyas and these vyakyanas give us the length of breadth of information that we can't even imagine. Okay, we can't even, sometimes we don't even come up with these kind of questions. Why Bhagavan used the word here jnanina? So does this mean upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina? So that means jnanina, so that means here plural is used. That means I need to go multiple gurus. Is that what it is saying here? To get that multiple Brahma, those who have realized, do I need to go to the multiple gurus? No. Here, Srimad Saraswati in this Bhashya explains that Bahuvachanam Chedamacharya Vishayamekasmin napi Gauravati Shayartam nato Bahutva Vivakshaya. So he says that this Bahuvachana, this plurality here, Jnaninaha, wise ones, with regard to the teacher, with regard to that guru, though he is only one, is used showing him extreme regard. Gaurava Atishayartam. So it is as part of a Gaurava, giving that respect to that guru, used as a plural here. And with regard to that guru, though he is only one, is used showing him as the extreme regard, but not intention of speaking about many gurus. So that's how Srimad Saraswati explains that this word, why Bahuvachana is used here, why plurality is used in the word Jnanina. And he says that Ekasmadeva Tattva Sakshatkaravata Acharya Tattva Jnanodaye Satyacharya Antara Gamanasya Tadartamam Yogaditi Drishtavyam. So he says that because why we should, it's talking about only one guru, but that guru is given as respect, why it should, intention is speaking intentionally here, Bhagavan is talking about only one guru, because since the Atma Sakshakara, the Jnana, okay, that Jnanodaya, that reality arises from a single teacher who has realized this, from a single guru who has realization of this Brahma Jnana, Atma Jnana. It is bizarre, it is inconsistent to go to some other teacher for the same purpose, because once you attain that, there is nothing else to attain. So one who has realized that Atma Sakshatkara, realization, one has reached that Brahma Jnana, realized that, he can't go to another guru and say, give me Brahma Jnana and another type of Brahma Jnana. There is no another type. There is only one Brahman, right? Once you have realized that, there is another. So there is no another need to go to another guru. It will be inconsistent. That's why Srimad Saraswati explains that here the Bahuvachana is used only Gaurava Atishayartam, natu Bahutva Vivakshaya. So it is not as a multiple gurus. It is purely to say that my guru is considered with regard, because in English we don't see this, but in Sanskrit and other language we give them respect, right? So in those cases it's considered here again as a multiple. So that's what it is mentioned here. Now in this shloka we looked at, so that guru Upadekshanti, so he will instruct, he will impart that jnana to this person who goes there and who pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, so who does this namaskara and then who does the seva and then humbly asks those questions to that guru. So what will be the result of generation of knowledge? with such great eagerness. So when one acquires them, what is the result? So that's the question, next question that comes, to which Bhagavan answers in the next sloka, in the 35th sloka. He says that what is the benefit of one acquiring that knowledge? He says that yajnatva na purar mohamem yasyasi pandava yena bhutannyashenena drakshya द्रक्ष्यस्नात्म स्यात्मन यथो मयि. So यज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहमेवं मेवं यास्यति पांडव येन भूतान्यशेणेन द्रक्ष्यस्यात्मन यथो मयि. So knowing which, O Pandava, you will not come under delusion again in this way, and through which you will see all the beings without exception in the Atma, in your Atma, and also in me. So, yat means which, jnatva means having known, na means never, puna means again, moham means delusion, evam means like this, yasyasi means you shall get, Pandava is addressing Arjuna, son of Pandu, yena means by this, bhutani means all the living beings, asheshena means all, drakshasi means you will see, atmani means within me, atho means that is to say, mayi means in me. So now Acharya explains this shloka in his Bhashya, knowing which, that is by acquiring which knowledge imparted by those gurus, O Arjuna, you will not come under delusion again. In this way, in the way you have come under delusion now, like that you will not come under again. So that is again knowing. Knowing means again jnatva. Knowing means that is having acquired that previously said jnana, but through the imparted by those gurus, as in the sentence. So again, so here Basu Saraswati says that it is like annam pachit. So it is when boiling the rice. Okay, boiling when it's like a sentence. He boils the boiling rice, like that sentence. So here jnatva itself explains that he knows this. Okay, from that guru. So O Pandava, Arjuna, that is addressing, you will not come under again this kind of delusion, this confusion which is caused by the killing and so on of the relatives. You will not come under that. Why is that so? Because through this knowledge, you will see directly all the beings. Bhutani is addressing all the beings without exception, counting from Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, to a clump of grass. You will see all the beings in the Atma itself, in the innermost Atma itself. That's so it's saying that Matsam Stani Imani Bhutani, these beings exist in me. That feelings will come, and also see that Mayi. You will see that these all the beings are in me, in Vasudeva. So I am being the Supreme Bhagavan. You will see Paramatma. You will see that all the beings are me itself, Bhagavan itself. So you will see that. So the meaning is Kshetrajneshwarai Katvam Sarvopanishad Prasiddham Drakshasi. So you will realize the identity of the Kshetrajna, that is the individual self, in the Ishvara, which is well known in the Upanishad. That's what Acharya explained. So as explained in the Upanishad, you will see that this individual Kshetrajna, individual self, in the Ishvara itself, you will see that among all the beings, you will see that, and you will see that that's same as me, my Vasudeva. So that's what Bhagavan explains. So again, through the knowledge, you will see all the beings, whether it's Father, Son, and others, everybody without exception, beginning from Brahma to a clump of grass, which are again, all those are projections of your avidya because you see differences in them as existing non-differently. They are all existing non-differently. You will see that all of them in you who are the Atma denoted by Tvam. So again, Srimad Saraswati links this shloka to Tattvamasi again. So you will see that they are all denoted by you will see them in yourself. So that is Tvam, a part of the Tattvamasi. Also in me, Bhagavan Vasudeva, you will see that. So that word, so that's denoted by Tat in that Tattvamasi. So who are reality in reality non-different from Atma and Paramatma. They are not different, and that's who is no, that Paramatma is not different. Who is the Adhisthana? Adhisthānāti karanena, Adhisthānāti rekena kalpitasya bhavat. So imagine, because that Paramatma is the Adhisthana and is an imagined thing, does not exist apart from that Adhisthana. So there is no that imagination that there is that different. The idea is Mam Bhagavant Vasudevatmane Tvena Sakshatkritta Sarva Ajnana Nashe Tat Karyani Bhutane Sa Tasyanti Bhavaha. So when all the avidya is destroyed by realizing me, Bhagavan Vasudeva, as one's own Atma, the beings which are effects of that ignorance will cease to exist. So that's what Sri Mansoor Saraswati explains, adds here. So by realizing that Tvam in that Tattvamasi, that is you, which is denoted by this Atma, is same as me, which is the Bhagavan, Tat, that, sorry, yes, yeah. So when Bhagavan says it's me, so that's Bhagavan. So that Tat part of the Tattvamasi, when you realize that both are same, this avidya is destroyed and he will have that realization. So with that, Bhagavan also explains in the next shloka the greatness of the knowledge. He says that now Arjuna, listen to the greatness of this jnana, as I explains now. He says that apichedasi papebhya sarvebhya papakrittamaha sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyati. Even if be the worst sinner among all the sinners, still you will cross over all the wickedness with this raft of knowledge alone. So api means even, chet is if, asi is you are, papebhya means sinners, sarvebhya means of all, papakrittamaha means most sinful, sarvam means all, jnana plavena means by the boat of this jnana, eva means certainly, vrijinam means again sin, santarishyati means you will cross over. So Acharya explains here that even if you be the worst sinner, extremely sinful among all the sinners, so Papa here means papebhya means again Papa literally means here the sinner. Still, even if you are the extremely sinful person, still you will cross over all this wickedness, all this ocean of wickedness, that is this sin. You will cross over all that with this raft, this boat, this raft of knowledge. Again, by using knowledge as alone as a float, you will cross over this ocean of this sinfulness. So the word again, api, or even if you are the wicked or sinful, worst sinner, the word here even is used again as if and also chet used, right? So chet, api chet. So even if are used as a indeclinables here, again for stating that the supposition of something impossible here, right? Even if you are the worst sinner, once you realize that knowledge, you will cross over with all the sins you have, these sins you will cross over. So again, because it is impossible, this knowledge one who gains is not going to be sinful because they have gone through this cleansing, purification of mind and all this process fully in the Sattva Guna, Shuddha Sattva Guna they will have, right? So they will not have this papas, sins accumulation or any of those kind of things. So it is not the case, right? So, but Bhagavan is saying that even in those cases, which is not going to happen, even in those cases, the one who already has this knowledge, they will achieve this. So, by using again Vrijinam here, or in the word Vrijina is used in the form of dharma and adharma. So whether good conduct, karma one performed, whether it is rightful, the rightest thing, or an adharmic things, both result in the samsara. If you acquire virtue, then also it results in rebirth, because you have to experience that positive effect of that. Or if you do sinful things, then also you have to take rebirth, because you have to experience that sins, the result of that. So that's why, which leads both of these lead to the samsara, because one aspiring for moksha, whether it is virtue or the vice, virtue just like the vice, both of them are source of evil. And that's why in this sentence, instruction, dharma, which is the formal religious observance, also said to be an evil. Acharya says here that that's also said as an evil in the case of one who is aspiring for moksha. So the question again, so why dharma is evil? Because you are expecting, when dharma, even though dharma is performed with expectation of result, there is an attachment, right? So again, what Bhagavan here saying and Acharya explaining is not, don't perform dharma if you are a moksharthi. Okay, if you are moksha, if you are expecting moksha, if you are aiming for moksha, don't perform good conduct, don't have that. It is not this meaning here. What they're saying is, perform those things. When it becomes papa or punya is when you perform with results in mind, expectation of those results, right? So here becomes those, do not attach to any of these results, perform as said in the Shastras. As said in the Shastras, when you conduct yourself and do it for Parameshwara Prityartham. So when you do it just because I want to do it to please the Bhagavan, to make Bhagavan happy, nothing else, then if there is no attachment, there is no sin attached, or there is no positive effects of that attached. The positive effect obviously comes indirectly in the form of purification of mind, and that leads to this moksha, but it is not a direct impact which results in this samsara. So now the question comes here, saying that Bhagavan says that even if you are the worst sinners, once this knowledge arises, you will cross over all this. So the question comes that how this jnana destroys the sin. How this jnana, so I have accumulated so much sin over the years, and this life also I did so many things. How did all that get destroyed? So that's it. I have experienced so many births up to now, and all the sins and maybe some virtue accumulated, right? So all this there, how that's going to destroy, that Bhagavan explains in the next sloka with the help of an illustration, where he explains that how the actions is, if the Arjuna's questions is here is like, is it not that the action will not get destroyed, even if it is crossed like an ocean? How my karma is going to get destroyed? Anticipating that type of question. And also he's explaining how knowledge destroys, let's say, karmas, past karmas, whether it is good or bad. Bhagavan explains in the 37th shloka here, we see that Yatheidhamsi samiddoghnir bhasmasat kurute Arjuna jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. O Arjuna, as the blazing fire reduces the piece of wood, samid, into ashes, similarly, this jnanagni, Agni of knowledge reduces all the actions to ashes, burns all that into bhasma. So yatha means yes, as, edhamsi means firewood, samidha means this blazing, agni means agni, fire, bhasmasat means to ashes, kurute means turns, Arjuna is addressing Arjuna, jnanagni means this jnana, wisdom acquired, achieved realization, and sarva karmani means all reactions from material activities. Bhasmasat means to ashes, kurute means it turns, tata means similarly. So here Bhagavan explains that, O Arjuna, as the blazing Agni, which is well-lighted Agni, which reduces a piece of wood to ashes. Similarly, the Jnana-Agni, the Agni of the knowledge itself being the Agni here, reduces to ashes all the karmas, all the actions. That is, it renders them ineffective. Because the Agni of knowledge, this Jnana-Agni itself, cannot directly burn the actions to ashes like a piece of wood, because knowledge destroys ignorance, right? So what knowledge does is it destroys ignorance, and thereby the agentship is eradicated, and this in turn makes action impossible, right? So it is not saying that I am doing this, I am the doer, that aham karta we looked at previously, right? So those things will disappear. Once that agentship disappears through this arising of this knowledge, this jnana, then all the sense gets, there is no attachment. Then those actions will become. So that's why the idea here again, what is said here is samyak darshanam sarva karmanam nirbhijatve karanam. So full enlightenment is the cause of making all actions impotent. So that's what said here in the shloka. So from the force of the context, again, if we are to look at the shloka like this, say for example, if it is saying, once you reach that realization, if the body were to die just when one has that realization, right? If the body was to just die and end it, because it says that there is no actions after that, there won't be another guru who is going to impart such a knowledge to another person, right? So hypothetically, let's make a person who has a realization today, and immediately, because he dies and there is no karmas left for him, he dies immediately, right? Physical body dies. So if that is the case, that realization that person has acquired, he's not going to be able to teach another person, and this whole thing, this transmission of knowledge is not going to happen, right? So that's why Acharya here explains that ena karmana shariram arabdham tad pravritta phalatvat. So upabhoge naiva kshiyate. Since the result of actions owing to which the present body has been born has already become effective, because so that means the actions of the previous lives which resulted in this body has already becoming effective, already started becoming effective, right? So those actions which you performed previously are already becoming effective by the form of getting this body. Therefore, those actions which are already ineffective, they continue to be experienced by that person till this life finishes, this body reaches its end, its natural end. Therefore, those actions get exhausted only through experiencing it. Upabhoge naiva kshiyate. So only through experiencing it, it goes away. Hence, yani apravritta phalani jnanotpattehi prakritani jnana sahabhavini cha atita neka janma kritani cha tanyeva sarvani bhasmasat kurute. So, hence, what is here is saying is the jnana reduces to actions, the jnana reduces to ashes only those actions that were done in this life prior to rise of this knowledge, that is prior to realization, achieving that realization, and that have not become effective yet, and also those actions performed along with after the realization, and those were performed in many past lives. So three things get destroyed. So there is one thing we said that not going to get destroyed, just to be clear. So which is the karma results which have already become effective, right? Which have through this body has already become effective. Those, even the jnanis who have realized, they have to experience this. Okay, so I'll come to the examples in a second. So the concept here is, the message is here. So the person, even if he has realized, now a person has realized that Brahma Jnana, has realized that Atma Jnana has realization state. If he has already experiencing some of the actions, results of previous actions, that will continue to be experienced till his body comes to a natural conclusion, which is death. But any karmas he has performed in this life from his birth to the point of realization. Okay, let's say one reaches realization at the age of 27. Okay, 27th birthday, one achieves that. So till that 27th birthday, whatever the karmas he has performed, as those karma, results of those karmas, whether good or bad, they wiped off as long as they have not become effective currently. And also, those karmas he's going to perform from that point onwards, from the 27th birthday when he has this realization, from that point onwards, if anything is performed, those results also will get destroyed. Okay, so that means from the point of realization, any karma performed gets destroyed, because he's not having that agentship. He's not thinking that I am the doer, right? He does not have that attachment to those results. So that's why those things will not happen. Anything that previously is performed till now will not in this life gets destroyed. And also those karmas which have not become effective, results of those have not become effective from the previous births. So previous, let's say, there are hundreds of thousands of births that have gone through, karmas performed, there is an accumulation, a part of that has given to this life, right? That has become effective, that will continue to be effective. But there is a bank balance that's left there, right? So that balance of the previous lives that's left there, that reminds whatever that was there, which was, if I did not have the realization now, it's going to be experienced in the future births, right? So now what we are saying is that balance also becomes nil. Okay, that results of those karmas which was accumulated through previous many past lives, that's also get destroyed. So that's what Acharya explains and Bhagavad explains here when he says that Bhasmata sarvakarmani kurute. So Jnana-Agni kurute Bhasmata sarvakarmani. When he says that it destroys all the karmas, results of the karmas which were performed in this life till the realization, as long as it's not become effective. The karmas that's performed from the point of realization becomes burnt by this Jnana-Agni, and the karmas which were accumulated in the many past lives and which have not become effective or not being part of this life's karma, the results we are supposed to experience, they will also become become reduced to ashes through this Jnana-Agni. But what Jnana-Agni will not burn, is the karmas of the previous lives or from this life which have already become effective. Already one is supposed to schedule that, okay, you have to experience this. Those will not get destroyed. Those one has to experience in this life. But what we have to remember is this person is now Vijnani. He has realized it. Okay, he has that Brahmajnana. Even if good or bad comes to him, he does not feel any difference because Shitoshna Sukha they are they have the equanimity. They will see everything as equal. Whether it is he suffers some terrible disease or he has some great happiness happening around him, or he has a sunshine or a cold weather or rain or whatever it is, he is a jnani now. Even if he is experiencing those things, for the world we see that, oh, he is suffering from that terrible disease, that jnani, right? He has realization, but he is suffering from that cancer or whatever that disease. World sees like that, but for him, it's nothing because he has realized, he has that realization. It doesn't make any difference. He sees that that cancer or whatever the disease or the happiness he sees, rain, cold, or whatever he sees, all those things are to the body, not to him. Right? So that's what it is. Again, we'll come to this karma and results and how it gets destroyed and all those things a little bit more in detail because there is different types of karma, prarabdha, sanchita, agami, and all those kind of things. We'll look at that, how which one gets destroyed and how those things in the next time when we gather. Thank you.